Poor do not need charity, they need inspiration. Charity only sends them a loaf of bread to keep them alive in their misery, but inspiration will cause them to rise above it. Hello guys, my name is Levi and I'm filling in today for Clifford Baines, who's busy killing rats in his garage using a slingshot. Rising number of men in their prime are opting out of work. The trades are also dying as people's homes are falling apart. In this video, I'm hoping to inspire you to start your own home service or handyman business in the year 2026 and stop letting fear hold you back from being your own boss. If you have a work vehicle, a good back, proper manners, an emergency fund, and a decent work ethic, you should strongly consider starting a handyman business for yourself in 2026, either as a seasonal gig, a part-time gig, or a full-time career. In this video, I will give you the basics for getting started, and you can take it from there because you're awesome like that. There are 9 basic things that you will need to establish and acquire to get your business off of the ground, and these things are an LLC and registered agent, a business bank account, a credit card that you use to pay for all tools, materials, and business fees, business insurance, a website and/or social media presence, a business email, business cards, systems for estimating, scheduling, warranties, and invoicing, and a marketing strategy. I could make this list a whole lot longer, but life is short, I'm super busy lately, and I just want to make this video very simple. Like most of us guys who fall into the handyman business by accident, we had to learn about these 9 essential things the hard way and make up for lost time as we get buried in more work than we can handle. But I promise you that if you establish these 9 things before you go into the handyman business, you will be far better off for it and experience much quicker success early on. Before I get into the details of these 9 must-haves, I want to make the disclaimer that this video is not intended for guys who want to get into the commercial construction industry, nor is this video intended for guys who want to start an electrical, HVAC, or plumbing business, as these 3 trades are the most litigious and heavily restricted trades in the world. These 3 trades come with all sorts of complicated permits, licenses, certifications, registrations, and inspections. Which does make sense when you consider that a bad electrician could cause your house to burn down, a bad plumber could cause black mold in your house, and an HVAC person could blow your house up if he doesn't install a gas heater correctly. I would say this video is more so intended for guys who want to start a business doing carpentry, painting, masonry, landscaping, and home exterior washing such as roof cleaning, gutter cleaning, and pressure washing of siding and driveways. You can also learn a lot from this video if you just want to start a junk removal, house cleaning, or dog poop removal business. So let's get started. Starting with an LLC or limited liability company is basically a social security number for your business, and it allows you to get certain tax benefits that you otherwise cannot get if you're doing business under your own personal name. Having an LLC also allows you to set up a business bank account and separate your personal money from your business money. A registered agent is just a person with a public street address and phone number who receives important legal and government documents such as lawsuits and tax notices on your behalf. You can pay another company to be your registered agent, or you can be your own registered agent. To learn more about this subject, check the description below. I created my LLC with the help of Taylor Brands, and I still have a lot of mixed feelings about them. I'll have to make a separate video someday talking about my opinion of this company and other companies like it, but in the meantime, I would just say go to your state's website and just buy an LLC directly from them. Business bank account is also a must-have. There's this concept called the piercing of the corporate veil, which is basically a legal process where a court disregards the limited liability of a corporation and holds its shareholders or members personally liable for the entity's debts or actions. For example, if you get caught using business funds for personal purchases, a lawsuit could lead to you having to pay with personal assets. Setting up a business bank account allows you to use business money for business needs and keep your personal money out of the picture. A business bank account also allows you to set up and pay off a business credit card, which leads us perfectly into number 3, business credit cards. Many people hold the opinion that credit cards are bad because apparently they cause people to spend more frivolously. My retort to that claim is that if you are an impulsive spender, It doesn't matter whether you buy things with a credit card, cash, a debit card, Apple Pay, or anything like that. You're going to be bad with your money no matter what. Having a credit card does 3 awesome things for your business, in my opinion. Number 1, it keeps you organized by giving you one place that you can refer to for all of your payments and purchases. It also makes your bookkeeping a lot easier. The second thing it does is it allows you to earn points. I've personally earned over $2,000 in cashback rewards from spending money with my business credit card. And keep in mind that this is all spending that I have to do no matter what. It's spending on things like materials for jobs that I'm getting reimbursed for later. So this is money that I'm spending out of necessity. And then because I'm spending that money with a credit card, I get some money back. And another thing worth pointing out is that having a business credit card makes your business look much better on paper. If, let's say, in a few years I wanted to expand my business and I needed a business loan from my bank, I can take a much bigger loan at a lower interest rate because I have the highest possible credit score and I've never missed a payment on my credit card. Okay, the next thing you will need for your business is insurance. But here's the good news. You probably don't have to have insurance for all 12 months out of the year. I personally only keep my insurance active for about 8 or 9 months each year, and I try to prioritize YouTube work, taxes, and other office work during the rainiest months of the year. So I'm only paying between $600 or $700 for my insurance each year, and I would highly recommend going with Next Insurance. It takes very little time to set up, and they have really good prices. Okay, number 5 is a website and or social media. You probably do need a website for your business, but this doesn't have to happen right away. I started off with a very simple free website for the longest time, and eventually I paid a professional to make me a custom website. I would recommend Squarespace for your first website, but something just as important as your website is your social media presence. And I do think that you should set that up ASAP. I personally suck at running my own social media, but despite that, almost half of my leads come from people who have discovered me through my YouTube videos. Yes, you heard that correctly. I get tons of leads from people who have watched my YouTube videos, went to my website and got my number, and then texted me or called me for work. I think every handyman business needs a Facebook page more than anything else, and this is because most of your clients will probably be older people who are retired. And most of them are not on Instagram and Twitter nearly as often as they are on Facebook and YouTube. You are obviously going to need a business email, and I'm sure I don't have to explain to you how to make one. You're also going to need business cards. I personally recommend ordering them from the Walmart website. Your business card should be sleek and simple. On the front, it should display the name of your business, a brief summary of what your business is about, and then 3 of the main services that you offer. On the back, it should display your phone number, email, social media, whatever insurance company covers you, and perhaps a QR code that directs people to your portfolio. The most important thing you will learn as you run your business is that you have to create your own systems for all sorts of things, such as estimating, scheduling, warranties, and invoicing. How good your systems are is going to determine how smoothly your business runs and whether it thrives or fails. Systems within a business are essentially all of the habits, checklists, and ways of approaching aspects of your business that produce the highest return on investment and save you both money and time. To give a practical example from my own business, I have pre-written contracts saved on my computer so that when people request a bid for something like a driveway epoxy job, I can copy and paste my bid into email and save myself lots of time. I also have checklists for all of the tools and materials that I need to accomplish different types of jobs. Of course, I also have pre-made invoices and receipts. And when the first day of the month rolls around, I have a to-do list of some of the most important administrative errands that I take on, such as ordering materials to stock up on, taking an owner's draw, and writing up what's called a profit and loss statement for the previous month so that I know how much money I made and what I spent it on. All of these things that I do for my business I used to suck at, but I kept refining my methods and printing up cheat sheets for myself, and it's gotten to the point where someone else could take my business from me, and as long as they have the same skill with a trowel as me, they could run my business just fine all by themselves because of the systems that I've created for doing the various jobs within my business. And the last thing you need to do is come up with some kind of a marketing strategy. Do not even consider Yelp or anything similar to it. Just start off with using Facebook ads. These are usually pretty good, but if that fails, then your next best bet is to ask all of your friends and family to spread the word about your business. I personally got my start just working for church friends. I also got tons of work when I joined a networking group that met once a week. Those guys I used to meet with were super nice to me and sent me so much work that ended up snowballing to the point where I'm still getting referred by word of mouth from 2 people I worked for who were referred to me by that networking group, and the word just keeps spreading. And that tends to be how things go for most people. If you are motivated, respectful, and hardworking, people will hire you. You just have to be patient. And once the work starts coming your way, people tend to just keep referring you to their friends. Okay, so those are the 9 main things that you need to get set up if you want to start running your handyman business on easy mode in the year 2026. A word of advice. Even though I've spent this whole video talking about the business side of your home service, don't forget that the meat and potatoes of your business, the thing that you're actually selling to people, is the hands-on work that you perform. And if you really suck at fixing things, building things, or cleaning things up, then your business is going to fail. Try not to get too caught up in appearances and officialities. There's something called the Sukhomlinov effect, which is the observation that in a military conflict between 2 factions, the side with the nicer looking uniforms tends to lose the overall war despite winning some battles. This is chalked up to the fact that when an army, in particular its leaders, focus way too much on their outward appearance and being super organized, they get their asses whooped by the grittier, less organized redneck hillbillies who specialize in speed, ruthlessness, and guerrilla tactics. Also remember Murphy's Law of Combat, which says that no battle-ready unit ever passed inspection and no inspection-ready unit ever passed combat. The same is often true in the handyman industry. People start off with a great service, but then, as they build wealth and popularity, they become enshittified. And the crusty old geezer smoking a cigarette outside the 7-Eleven shows up and steals your business, because even though he's old, dirty, and may not have the most organized business, or any official business at all, he's been building houses and fixing houses since before he could even walk, and that's why people continue to hire him over you. So if you're going to start, for example, a painting company, please just prioritize being a damn good painter and an honest man, and everything else that you have to do is going to be way easier if you get those 2 things right. So in closing, I just want to say that starting a business is not as exciting as a lot of people make it sound. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but I also understand that circumstances may cause me to have to go work for somebody else someday, and I'm fine with that. The main reason, the biggest reason I started my handyman business is because I wanted a flexible schedule so that I could be closer to my wife and kids who I adore. Another thing that inspired me to work for myself was working for other people who are dumb as a brick. I'm sorry, but there are a lot of really stupid people out there who start businesses and somehow get really rich despite being total numbskulls. So I started looking at that and I'm like, gosh, if this dingbat son of a gun can pull this act off, then I have to at least give it a try. Well, that's it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want me to make more videos on this subject, please let me know in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and have a great rest of your week. God bless.